How the heck are you guys doing? Sorry, coffee took a little bit to be made. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a special, well, not really special, an Osiris League cast. We always do these. We try our best to cast as many of these as possible. Of course, not every, sorry, chat, it was the coffee. I forgot to put on the coffee, and then when I put it on, it was a bit too late, and so I ran. I apologize. I'm pretty sure that thing is still going, so it's whatever. Good thing there's a water catcher in there. How's everybody doing? Love of my soul, your music is so dope. Thank you. Titch, what's up? Venny, Neil, Milton, Mamad, K93 forever. Heck yeah. Call your K93 folks to come watch. We're about to cast this very interesting match. I feel like this is going to be a very interesting match. I think that it's not as one-sided as it seems. I think both these kingdoms are going to give a heck of a fight, and it's going to be awesome. I hope, at least. What's up, Enver? How you doing, man? First question, how good is Osman? I use Osman on Osiris League. Ahmed, if that answers your question. IZX, what's up? How's it going? IZX Ice Cream, how you doing? Iceman, sorry. Whoa, I went ice cream for some reason. Why did I say ice cream and not Iceman? I don't know. I'm thinking ice cream. I want to put some ice cream in this coffee, but it's too late now. TT, Lost I watched, Jedi. I kind of like, I was on the JWM2 match, and at the same time on the computer, I had the score sheets of stuff going on. You guys had a very close match. I'm very impressed at what you guys did against BBTH. A couple of mistakes along the way, and bam, that was that. Your 18 win streak is over, Jedi, my man. That's how things work. Everything must come to an end at the end. It is what it is. Look at it as a positive thing. You guys lasted for 18 long matches in a row. And now it's time to figure out what happened there and how you can improve. It's not a bad thing, my man. The other way around. Be proud that you guys held for 18 long matches in a row. That's not something anyone can say, really. That's really not. Let's take a quick peek. Ooh, what we got here? Oh, that's cool. Thanks to Seb, he resubscribed, although he recommitted his membership, even though I wasn't on or didn't see it. That's weird. I need to somehow make it pop and say thank you. But Seb, if you're watching this, thank you very much, my man. I appreciate you very much. Who do you think will win in Osiris League? Ahmed, I have no idea yet. We're gonna have to see how things play out. Osman, a second for more troops, correct. So I really like, as of late, the Osman, an Ethelfled-led Osman, even though that's not the best possible way to use an Ethelfled per se. It's not the best way to use an Ethelfled, but I think that an Ethelfled Osman on the open field is an interesting combination for Osiris League per se. BBTH will win. Well, BBTH did win, didn't they? Oh, they're going to win the whole thing? So you're trying to say that because you guys lost to BBTH, then BBTH will win everything, which will make sense. Neil, the shop opens usually during playoffs. So I'm guessing that during playoffs, we'll have betting as well as we'll have shop thingy. JWM, OVSW, DSP, NB1. I really don't. Titch, there are a couple of names in your list that make no sense, including NB1, that are not there anymore. And I don't know. I'm not going to speculate yet. I want to see who ends up at the playoffs and then watch their matches, figure out who's playing what. There are a lot of crazy things. Osman second to Joan. I like that play too. Prefer Scipio on Ethelfled as secondary and Osman with Joan. That's not a bad idea. 1AVG are actually pretty good too. I really do like 1AVG quite a bit. Our friend Mad Phantom is doing a lot of work out there. Let's see if we can really quickly get Epic Pen out. I was really hoping that doesn't happen on this monitor, but life, man. Let's move that out of the way. That's what happens when you're unprepared. So let's click here and go watch K9T versus LFaM. 14 against 13 coming into the match. Good luck, have fun. Gekko. PS. We're casting you guys. Bam. And will that appear? Hello. Look at that. and go away. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an Ark of Osiris match, Osiris League. This is the elimination match. Those who win this match go on to the playoffs, and those who lose will finish their campaign in Ark of Osiris. If you're brand new to Ark of Osiris, the way this game mode works is very simple. You start off in this starting zone. What you're seeing here is people teleporting in. All these flashes in here like this is someone coming into the field. From there, once the gates open in 1 minute and 50 seconds, people are going to start pouring out towards the initial buildings, which are the outposts and obelisks. From there, in the 52nd minute, the Desert Altar, Shrine of Life, Shrine of War, and Sky Altar will open up. The whole map will be available for occupation, and this is when madness will ensue. The map of Ark of Osiris is a mirrored map, so what you're seeing on this side is exactly the same thing on the other side. There are some differences between top and bottom, and when you're looking at it from each direction, it might look a bit different, but at the end of the day, they're both the same exact thing. The way you win an Ark of Osiris is by accumulating as many points as possible as a team. The way you accumulate points is through 3 different ways. Either you hold on to buildings for a long period of time. For every minute you hold a building, you get more and more points. Or by carrying the Ark of Osiris that is going to spawn in the Osiris Temple within 13 minutes and carrying it back to one of your buildings, whichever one you choose, so long as it is under your control. And the last and final way for you to get points is by gathering. As a matter of fact, your boy right here is the king of gathering in JWM2. That is 2 weeks in a row that we take the crown for provisioning on the Osiris field. Last time around, we kind of cheated a little bit by using 2 marches. This time around, we proved the haters wrong by doing it with 1 dedicated march for gathering. And yep, we used 1 dedicated march for gathering and still managed to pull off the king of gathering for now. Let's take off the things on the screen that don't matter, like that right there, and start off our cast. As the battle starts, the gates of hell are opening up. We're looking at 30 versus 29. It looks like LFaM are missing 1 person. Not a big deal. They can still get in a substitution and really quickly catch up. No harm, no foul just yet. As the folks of LFaM start pouring out, the folks of K9T will do just as much. We're looking at 8 rallies opened up early on. One of these early strategies that a lot of folks like to use are rallies on obelisks, both of your opposition as well as your own. The reason this is being done is for 2 reasons. First of all, secure your own obelisks, one of the most important building in the game. The reason this building is so important is the moment you catch your obelisk and 3 minutes of occupation go by, you can teleport into the zone of the obelisk. And so the obelisk is how you manage to get yourself out of the initial zone and into the field much faster. As you can see, both teams are already starting to occupy buildings. There's nothing for us to zoom into just yet. At this point of the match, we usually talk overview. And one more thing for you, chat. Usually when I cast, I focus a lot on the match more than on the chat. I will try to read up your questions as much as I can. As one of my neighbors decides it's time to start hitting a hammer. Thank you for that. I'll keep an eye on the chat as well, but for now, we're going to focus on the cast. Each team has picked up 1 outpost. It looks like blue team picked up their outpost a little bitty seconds earlier than red team. Not enough for there to be a big gap between the 2 of them. LFaM now picking up an outpost and an obelisk quickly. Blue team from K9T, Kingdom 93, reacting with their own first obelisk take. These obelisks are super important. They're the ones that you really want to have locked in as quickly as possible, so you can very, very quickly teleport out of the initial zone and save yourself a good 4 minutes worth of back and forth from the initial zone. I will murder that neighbor. Not really, but still, why? Anyway, I will not let that distract me any longer than it already has. K9T now picking up their 2nd obelisk ahead of the folks of LFaM. Now, that's still not the biggest of issues. LFaM, thankfully for them, have a good 30-second lead in the obelisk occupation, which means they will be able to very quickly get some marches on the field and get a slight advantage early on the field. Blue team, on the other hand, on their bottom side, have the same type of advantage, as just now the obelisk was taken by LFaM 1 minute and 10 seconds without teleports, while the folks in blue are going to be able to teleport very soon and get their marches out on the field. We're going to see very quickly some of these marches that are marching long term towards their opposition's obelisks breaking on the way. The reason this is done is because sending marches just like this can be a little bit dangerous. You do not want to have your marches exposed if you don't have to. And so by sending them as a rally, you're sending a group of marches together that are going to march forward on the map and will most likely break somewhere around the desert or the sky altar. These are techniques used to move marches forward as quickly as possible. Easy the Gray, an ex-JWM member, on his way to the desert altar on LFaM's side. LFaM still not showing too much presence in here. We're finally seeing a little bit of presence showing up around here. Blue team very aggressive forward early on. The rallies on their way now probably will break, but again, blue team missing an outpost, which could cost them a few points and a small lead very early on. The way you gain points in Ark of Osiris also requires you to hold onto a building for 3 minutes. Once you do so and you fully occupy it, that's the only time when you start gaining points. As you can see, one of these buildings, each one of these buildings really, the 2 outposts locked in favor of their teams. 3 minutes have passed, and now they're gaining 30 points per minute, and the match is still fairly even. The bottom side of blue team is looking very aggressive. Clash letting his rally march forward, which means they're looking for a forward stance on the desert altar. Now, this is not something uncommon. The folks of LFaM are trying to grind down these folks in blue. As you can see, the rally breaking up and making its way to here. But right now, LFaM can't drop the ball. The ball right now is to get in this desert altar as quickly as possible and hold on to it. Fighting the open field is great, and getting rid of all these folks is very useful. But if the blue team managed to get in the building before the red one does, their ability to reinforce it will make it impossible for LFaM to grab the building for early on, and it'll cause massive issues. As the building opens up, it goes red. Fantastic job by LFaM picking up their building. They've picked up all of their buildings with the exception of the Shrine of Life, which both teams haven't yet. Team in blue, K9T, leaving their sky altar still waiting. Finally, there's a march standing right next to the sky altar, finally going in it, and that's pretty much half of the map belonging to each team, with the exception of an outpost that seemed to have been forgotten. On the other hand, blue team moved forward and very quickly picked up a Shrine of Life. This is going to be a little bit of a struggle early on for the red team. As I mentioned to you guys, the map is a mirrored map, which means this is the Shrine of Life that is supposed to be red. Now, if you don't know what each building does, the Shrine of Life gives you a 25% healing speed bonus, which means that at this point, blue team has 50% while red team has 0. And the other important building to know about is the Shrine of War, which gives a 5% attack and defense boost. And so at this point, they both have 5 and 5. This is one of the most important buildings for you to defend, as if you lose yours, when you lose yours, the one team will have 10% of both stats while you'll have none. Blue team still not picking up this outpost. I'm actually fairly surprised. The difference in points right here is exactly that, an outpost that was left hanging. And 120 points difference is not a lot right now, but that can come back to bite the blue team in the butt later on. Open field battles are fantastic early on, but as of right now, the most important thing for each team is to secure first occupation on each building. In the beginning of each match, there is a first occupation bonus. If your team occupies for the first time a building, they're given for free a stupendous amount of points early on, 400 for the Shrines of Life and War, and 750 for the altars. This is why a massive fight is happening right now in the desert altar, and red team cannot let this altar go down until they at least have first occupation. On the other hand, it looks like the blue obelisk is blinking. We cannot see the obelisk. It finally shows up. The rally was destroyed. Ollie has a lot of presence in here. These 4 marches managed to hold 5 of Ollie's marches back, which is a great job by the folks in red. I'm wondering if that was planned, or those marches just managed to squeeze by somehow and forgot to cancel the rally or something like that. I believe that's not the case. 6 rallies on their way out. 4 by K9T. Hello, thank you. 3 by the folks of K9T. 3 by LFaM. We're looking at 2 altars and a shrine being attacked, and an altar, an obelisk, and a shrine by the blue team. Blue team are looking to start early on, putting pressure on the obelisks. Now, once you've teleported and managed to use up your initial teleports, losing the obelisk at this point is not the worst thing that could happen. Remember, the obelisk is great for teleports, and you want to hold on to it, as every 5 minutes you gain 2 teleports. But losing it for a minute or 2 and then getting it back is not necessarily the worst thing you can do, as this building is only worth 20 points per minute. The buildings you really want to make sure you're holding on to are the altars, the big point givers. And as of right now, somehow no, it's just a matter of timings. The folks in blue are a little bit in the lead, especially because they picked up this Shrine of Life away from the red team. It gave them that extra little bit of lead that they have right now. That lead is about to go away in 13 seconds. They finally picked up their outpost. They're a minute out, and so blue team picking up a great lead. A lot of open field standing around, letting the rally hit. I do like this approach. One of the tips I have for you guys that I've noticed my team not doing today is that at some point in time, this rally is gonna lose. At this point right now, this rally will most likely lose against the building. Swarming the rally at this stage only helps the opposition. You don't want to destroy the rally. You wanna leave it at red and go away and let the rally slowly fade away. When you swarm a rally, you're actually killing it faster, which means those marches by your opposition will go home faster. So a small tip for you guys trying to micro-optimize. Do not hit a rally all the way to the end. Once you're guaranteed that the building will be able to hold, let the rally do its thing. It is a lot of marches locked in here, and an Attila Takeda that is not being reinforced. Buildings blinking everywhere. Blue team holding onto their sky altar, their desert altar being contested and also being held fairly well. Both teams holding onto their buildings really, really well. Blue team now trying to take the Shrine of Life away from red. LFaM holding strong while K9T's rally is about to go down. Fantastic work by both teams so far. And as of this moment, the points per minute game is evened up, and the red team has a very, very, very slight lead. They managed to close the gap with the folks in the folks in blue. K9T managed to close that early gap by occupying the Shrine of Life that was supposed to be blue, and by delaying the points LFaM were getting from that building. They managed to close the gap of 140, 150 points down to about 12. This is a very, very good job by the folks of K9T, and this match is already shaping up to be what I thought it was going to be and why we picked it. A fantastic match for us to watch. So far, 4 rallies being sent. That's about that. 1 by K9T and 3 by LFaM shows that LFaM are looking to be aggressive with their 4th rally being declared as well. In Ark of Osiris, you have an hour time to do anything possible. With that being said, once that hour ends, it's over. And so your biggest enemy, your biggest issue is time. You want to waste your enemy's time as much as possible, and you do not want to let them waste yours. This is a fantastic play by the folks of LFaM. They've recognized that they can swarm a massive swarm on the Shrine of War. There is no rally that I see here, which might be a small mistake, but they have diverted away a lot of the folks from the center in the blue team. I don't know what the presence of the blue team is in the center right now. It looks like it is dominant. The red team completely gave up on the first arc. This is not a bad play at all. Can you turn up the sound a bit? Sure. Here we go. Bam. There it is. What sound are you looking for, Venny? I don't have the in-game volume, if that's what you're asking. I have the in-game volume disabled. We could go try to get out and turn it on and come back in, but it's going to be a little bit of a hassle. And so blue team trying to hold on to their Shrine of War. This could have been a great play, except that what ended up happening is LFaM gave up on the center and went towards the Shrine of War. K9T countered by leaving the center, knowing that they have it fairly well locked, and now they came to swarm this Shrine of War, which seems to have gotten fairly well secured. While all that is going on, the folks of K9T had a few gatherers along the way. Someone standing in here, for example, and then coming out to fight. When that march goes frowny up and goes back home, it actually takes back some caravans with it. And with that being said, those caravans get points, which is how the blue team managed to take the lead, even though the points per minute game is even. The first arc of Osiris is on its way. It is not going to be contested. It's a great play by the folks of blue to take an early lead. It's the least valuable arc of all arcs. The first one is the more arcs you get, the more points you get out of them total. And so you really want to make sure you pick up the later arcs over the early arcs if that's what you feel like your strategy should be. My Osiris League fight Sai was the last block. We won JWM2, and you are looking at the king of provisioning for now in JWM2 2 weeks in a row. Although the first week I did cheat and I used 2 siege marches. This week got the same amount of points with only 1 siege march. A rally coming in by Trinity a bit too late. Now the open field presence that was here by red team is gone and it's all blue, and man oh man, this rally is going to get squished out of its mind. While that's happening though, the animal is on its way to the Shrine of War, to the Sky Altar, and hitting the Sky Altar quite hard right now. There's a rally on its way here, but the rally is being swarmed in the open field. That rally took massive amounts of damage on its way here. And now, going up against a Wuzetian, it's going to be a tough choice, considering that rally is halfway through. For now, red team are aggressing very much on the buildings game, but not able to do too much. And blue team, having taken the Ark of Osiris right now, are going to take a massive lead early on. If you guys enjoy this kind of cast and want more casts, as well as having comments, feedback, suggestion, anything, you're watching this VOD, if you're not watching live, make sure you drop a like on this stream or the VOD. And of course, in the comments down below or in the chat, let me know what you guys want to see change, different comments, questions, anything. I'll do my best while live streaming to answer questions. But if things get mad in here, we got to keep an eye on this. So the open field is fighting right now the open field marches rather than the rally itself, which is not the biggest of issues. The problem is that rally is doing stupendous amount of damage. And if the folks in the open field don't focus up on the rally rather than focus up on the open field, this is going to cause them a lot of trouble. If they choose not to hit the rally, but rather reinforce the Sky Altar, that is a completely acceptable thing to do. Reaper halfway march going out and halfway march and a bigger march going in. And with this Ethelfled coming in to swarm up the rally, that's going to be a great thing to do right now, really. It's going to be one of those things. Duo casts, to get to duo casts, it's going to be a nightmare. It doesn't work as well as it did last season, unfortunately. And so with all this being said, look at the rally getting chunked down. This is the time where Reaper, where Herald, where all these guys should be focusing on the open field march and let the rally take its time. So far, the blue team secured the Ark of Osiris very quickly. They're going to let another one come out very fast. And LFaM are just not able to push forward against K9T. And what I'm presuming is going to happen very soon is a massive brawl in the center for this next Temple of Osiris. As you can see already, a small red march making its way here. 7 rallies being sent. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rallies out by the folks in red. 3 by K9T. K9T seem to just want to hold on to their buildings and just grab arcs, which is a fantastic play if you can hold on to your buildings and not let them get taken out. The problem happens when your first building goes down, and for the first 20 minutes of the match, it truly looks like the folks in blue, K9T, are a brick wall and LFaM are trying to get through. As of right now, there are drops of water on that wall, but careful because water eventually penetrates everything. The real question is whether or not there is going to be enough time for the folks of LFaM to figure out how to crack the defense of K9T, or will their defense hold strong? An aggression coming through from the folks of K9T as they gather up by the Desert Altar. There is probably a rally on its way to the Desert Altar, and then Massive brawls are going to happen in here. If the folks of K9T don't pay attention, if the folks of LFaM don't keep an eye on this closely, they might get caught off guard. While Trinity's rally is marching towards an aggressive position towards the Shrine of War, nothing is in there for the open field. However, there is plenty of open field to squish this rally out. While that happens, Slaz making a fantastic play, getting rid of his marches. What he's doing right here is making sure his March Frownies on the way home, making it twice as fast, ensuring that he can come out to the action as quickly as possible. Trinity's rally is getting chunked on its way, and unfortunately, with the positioning of LFaM, they really can't do much. They allowed Ollie and Ollie 2 and Ollie to make his way through the back, and he is coming for Sugar and Bro Thor. Bro Thor and Sugar kind of figuring it out, backing off a little bit. 5 minutes until the Arc of Osiris comes up. Plenty of time for anything to happen there. This rally chunked down halfway is left to march and to hit the building. This is a fantastic play by K9T. They know that if they chunk down the rally enough, then the building will be able to handle it by itself. And when it does that, they are essentially wasting Trinity's time. Trinity will at this point have a very hard time to win this matchup. And while Dark Prince is trying to kind of come up and be a hero, there is absolutely no need. 3,000 damage against the 5,000 damage on the rally means that that Shrine of War will most likely hold. The Dark Prince is actually doing a favor. Toiro coming in to also help out LFaM a little bit, get rid of this march quicker. But at this point, if they did not swarm at Trinity's rally, which Dark Prince seemed to have figured out and backed off, so did Torio, they're just going to make LFaM pay. Because at this point, all that LFaM can do is wait for these marches to die off. The moment these marches die off, they walk back fast. If they break up the rally, they walk back slow. This is how you waste your enemy's time. A fantastic micro optimization by the folks of K9T. I am super impressed. So no more duo casts for League? I don't know. I don't really know what the plan is. I'm rolling with the punches. Ivy, I'm rolling with the punches. I don't know who's doing what. I don't know whose decision is to do what. I don't know. I'm just doing my thing, and if anyone wants to duo cast, I am all for it. Last time I coordinated and did all that stuff. Absolutely not going to happen this time around. If anyone wants to duo cast, this is the time. I'm ready. I prefer to duo cast, but I'm not going to run after it. Same strat being used by MFPD against NB2, but power gap more significant there. It is why we picked this match. I think that in this match, there is still a lot of time for both teams to really do something in here. I think that the folks in red, though, are having a little bit of an issue because K9T are wasting their time more than they are wasting K9T's time. And tit for tat, with all these buildings blinking, blue team of K9T are securing the center while holding onto their buildings, while LFaM are not able to crack through this. With 3 minutes remaining, LFaM are really going to have to make their way through to make sure that arc is theirs. They are gathering in the center, but we're about to see how much there is going to be in the tank for the folks of red team to fight in the center. This is a fantastic catch here by LFaM. The rally did break apart, but there's still an open field presence here with a few DPS marches, which are doing a significant amount of damage to this Richard. Richard is doing his job, which is to delay the folks in red as much as possible. While that's happening, the folks in red are also swarming the Desert Altar with a rally, much more successful situation in here. This Desert Altar might fall. This might be the first time the water cracks through the wall. And if that's the case, boy, oh boy, the folks in blue are in trouble. On the other hand, though, red team is also in a little bit of a dire need in here of more marches. REEFER coming up with 2 of them to help out. Is this going to be the first building to turn around? The moment that happens, the strategy shifts, as now the arcs might not be as significant, especially if you can keep holding on to these buildings. It looks like the red team are going to be successful at taking the Desert Altar from K9T. And if I'm not going to call it until it happens, but maybe, just maybe, bam, the first turnaround, 150 point lead in the favor of red team, which is about to turn 300 in 3 minutes. The folks in blue now have an issue as their Desert Altar has been taken away from them. Losing a Desert Altar is not the biggest tragedy on Earth. The reason for that is that the Desert Altar is one of the closest buildings to a obelisk, as you can see right here. So as long as anyone like Conquest rally back up this desert altar, they can get back here fairly quickly and maybe even stop LFaM from gaining any points from this building. But this small situation, this shift in buildings, is going to give LFaM 450 points ahead of the folks in blue of K9T. And if that keeps happening slowly and steadily, those arcs are going to be less and less significant. Mikey, Miki, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Don't get mad at me. Going for the obelisk. March came in here to ensure that it's well defended. This is a good distraction. Mike Hawk is now on its way. Mr. Brightside is on its way. This is a rally by Conquest to take the building, their desert altar back. But if the obelisk gets yoinked away, it could cause a lot of issues. Desert Altar is still being contested, but finally is being secured. Totes needs to get rid of this March as quickly as possible, or else she's going to be in a world of pain, as she won't be able to get out of here anytime soon. And that's what she does. She goes to look for an open field fight to get that done. While this is going on, the obelisk is going down fairly quickly. Tiger Honey and Mike Hawk and a few other people are coming in to try to help, but man, this obelisk is getting beaten down, and this might cause a little bit of a distraction for the folks of K9T. Arc of Osiris spawns in 15 seconds. Let's go take a look at what's happening in the center, as it looks like the blue team have some presence here, but red team managed to dwindle them down quite a bit. Dancing Demon is here. Bro Thor is here. Time to grab the arc, drop it down to your side. LFaM decide, instead of grabbing the arc quickly, that they are going to start taking care of the open field first. Dancing Demon making a fantastic play, making sure the arc drops on their side, giving them a little bit more extra time. While all this is going down, both obelisks of the blue team are being rallied, one of them being fairly well secured. The other one is being secured too. The desert altar that belongs to the red team is being rallied hard, and the marches are on their way to reinforce it. It looks like this building is going to be secured while all this is going down. Ladies and gentlemen, that desert altar is about to lock in favor of red. And when that happens, you know what's going to happen. A lead for red, who are also about to take this Arc of Osiris even further. A lead for red in the points per minute game, which they already have, but another 150 points will be much harder for the folks in blue to handle. This match is by far nowhere near over, as these Legend Off is trying to sneak on the back here. Very nice stuff by him. Let's take a peek as the Arc of Osiris is dropped and is neutral for now. Red team has more presence here. If they manage to take the Arc and hold on to the points per minute lead, this is going to be a little tough for the folks in blue. As of right now, 300 points per minute in lead for LFaM, ladies and gentlemen. This match is wide open. And boy, oh boy, red team swarming the Shrine of War with a rally, a Trinity rally with Edward. This Shrine of War is about to go down. Blue team is about to lose 5% attack and defense, just like that, in 80 points per minute. K9T, the water has broken through, and the red team has taken a Shrine of War. Boy, oh boy, K9T are now in trouble, and the lead is still in their favor. They still have 31 long minutes to hold on, but as of right now, with every minute that passes, the folks of LFaM are closing the gap in the points per minute game, and to make matters worse for the folks in K9T, the Arc of Osiris is red and marching towards the red side. Buildings blinking everywhere. Blue team trying to sneak into the Shrine of Life regardless. This is a fantastic sneak up by Legend. We saw that earlier happening. Davis trying to fight on the open field, but at some point he's going to need to help holding on to the Shrine. While all this is going down, the red team trying to secure this Shrine of War that's supposed to be blue's. The longer they hold on to it, the better of an advantage they have on the open field. Blue team of K9T about to take their desert altar back as predicted, but hey, the points were already in favor of red. They picked up a bunch of points, and they're still in the lead for the next 3 minutes while blue team of K9T secure back their building and try to close back the gap from over 300 points down to about 230. Boy, oh boy, LFaM taking a shrine. Oh my goodness, the Sky Altar breaks. And once more, LFaM taking a 150 point extra lead. And they're holding on to the Sky Altar for now. My goodness gracious. What is going on in here? I believe we might be seeing a very interesting match ahead of us. Ladies and gentlemen, LFaM have broken through. As I mentioned, water eventually breaks through everything, and if you let it keep dripping, it'll eventually find a hole. And man, oh man, LFaM did. K9T playing a fantastic match so far, but it seems like they lost a little bit of focus. That's not a big deal. K9T can still come back very strong into this. They're a super strong team, and they have a great strategy behind them, as well as good leadership and good calls. So I definitely don't think this is anywhere near over. Even if LFaM pick up the arc right now, there is still plenty of time for the folks of K9T to shift it into 6th gear and start cranking it up and taking the lead back. For now, they still own the lead, 1,800 points in their favor, but with every minute that passes, that lead dwindles down. Remember, they picked up an Ark of Osiris worth 3,000 points, and ever since they've been holding onto that slight lead, it's been slowly going down. It looks like the Shrine of War will maybe secure for a few moments for the folks in red, take a couple of points in their favor, but it doesn't look like they're looking to hold on to it long term. Again, 3 altars in the favor of LFaM is really bad news for K9T, but this is the first good step they need. They need to gain their buffs back, and they will indeed gain their buffs back. LFaM picked up that building for maybe 2 seconds, and maybe they got a point or 2 out of it, but heck, they've delayed the folks of K9T enough, and now they have 380 point per minute lead. And to make matters worse, the Sky Altar, which hasn't started taking points for them just yet, will at any moment do that in about a minute. And when that happens, things are going to get rough. K9T still fighting to get this arc back in their control. This is one of those things that they're going to need in order to keep their momentum right now. If they manage to take these 3,500 points in their favor, that'll give them a big enough of a gap so that they can restart their aggression. And even though they will be behind in the points per minute game, that big 4,500 point lead that they'll have is going to be enough for them to be able to recommit into the rallies and regain control. However, it looks like the folks of K9T are just fighting as much as they can on the open field. This works out in their favor. In 9 minutes, this Ark of Osiris is going to go back right up here. And so LFaM have 2 options. Either they start moving this arc forward towards their way, or they just delay the next 9 minutes, because the moment this timer goes down to 0, the arc disappears from the field and comes right back here, and that works in the favor of K9T. Right now, K9T trying to get their Sky Altar back, which is already ticking for points for LFaM. LFaM giving this up fairly quickly. They're still taking a strong point per minute lead for a few moments, which is a good news for them. And on top of that, they'll hold on to another 150 point minute lead for another 3 minutes. Great work by LFaM to slow down the progress of K9T. Here is the problem for LFaM. If this arc doesn't go in their favor, K9T have just evened up the map. In 3 minutes, the points per minute game goes back to 0. They both gain the same amounts of points. That's going to give the folks in blue of K9T about 1,000 point lead, about maybe less than that, 500 point lead. But the arc is a big problem. The arc is a big problem for LFaM. The timer is working against them. Everything is right now working against them. And so, man, oh man, this is going to be rough. It looks like the folks of LFaM are committing to the center a lot, and while they are going for the Desert Altar with a good rally and some open field presence, the folks of K9T are not paying attention. Maybe this is going to go in favor of LFaM, maybe not. Sky Altar looks like it's getting swarmed by blue, but plenty of open field presence by red to secure it. No idea why they're not swarming the rally, but hey, it is what it is. It looks like the folks of K9T are letting this Desert Altar go down again. Open field presence coming in to secure it. But can Carly, our friend from Kingdom 58, shout out to Carly, get here in time? Desert Altar about to fall. A reinforcement coming in, delaying that fall and allowing Carly to potentially get here, allowing Silent Flow to potentially get here. If this building falls, that's 450 points out the window for K9T, but it looks like the little bit of a delay was enough to get more reinforcements in here. The building is going red. There is plenty of attacks by totes. Lots of open field presence in here. The building is going down. Where is the reinforcements? A little bit of reinforcements keeping it still red. The arc is dropped once more. Wait. I am very confused as to what just happened. What the heck is that? Hello? Okay, no comment. That has to be a bug. That has to be a bug. That just worked out in the favor of LFaM massively. What the hell are we seeing? Did I disconnect? I did not disconnect. What the hell just happened? Why did the timer reset? The timer shouldn't have reset. Oh boy, this works a lot in the favor of LFaM. Oh my goodness. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't reset the timer. My God, the Desert Altar about to go down. Red team picking up the... Not yet, but they look like they're going to pick up this Desert Altar. It's going to once more put the folks in blue on the back pedal, as this is what the folks in red need to finally close the lead. K9T got from the first arc of Osiris, but why did the timer reset? Silent Flow pulling out a march and trying to put one more in, but not in, yes, in time, barely in time. All of the marches went out and he came in last. How did that happen? Silent Flow. Oh my goodness. What a crazy, Carly Kent and Silent Flow just survived a little bit longer. Shrine of Desert Altar falling for blue team, and now red team also trying to take a sky altar. While they're doing that, they're also hitting the the Shrine of War. Lag is insane. I don't know what is even going on anymore. Shrine of War is about to go down. LFaM, what is going on? Shrine of War secured by LFaM, destroying the points per minute again and keeping a nice little lead for them. 3 altars in their favor means they're going to keep up gaining points, and they're about to close this lead down very, very quickly. Apologies for the lag. I can't do anything about the fact that the map is not freaking loading. A lot of matches are happening at the same time as we have 22 minutes remaining. LFaM looking like they might lose this Sky Altar, which could be bad news for them. It's Herald really needs to step up and start getting into the building and holding onto it, allowing REEFER to get in here. Do not lose the building fighting the open field. The rally goes out, which is good news, but this open field presence can still put a little bit of pressure on the Sky Altar. Not enough Sky Altar pressure for the blue team, and red maintain their altar. 11 minutes on the arc timer, and the folks of K9T are now marching the arc back fairly easily. This is a huge problem for LFaM, who have been fighting the last 40 minutes to try to close this situation. But man, with K9T running away and Dark Prince taking this arc, it's going to be so tough for LFaM to get back into this. LFaM not gonna let it go again by the looks of it. It looks like the situation is a bit rough though, because they are winning the points per minute game and they are winning most of things, but the arc is their biggest issue, and they had the arc. They just missed the arc by a little bit, and that timer resetting worked out really in their favor. It gave them more time. This is when the open field presence plus the Shrine of War need to get out of here and go try to stop this arc from going blue. But it looks like they're focused more on the buildings than on the big point maker. And with 3,500 points from this arc, boy, oh boy, LFaM are going to have such a hard time getting back into this one. It's not over by any means. With 20 points, if they maintain a 3,000 point lead, they can come back like that fairly easily, as they are only 300 points away right now. The problem is nobody's going to let them hold on to that big of a lead of points for that long. At this point, the folks of K9T are about to take their Desert Altar back, and when they do that, they're going to ensure that the points per minute game situation slows down drastically for K9T. For LFaM, LFaM really totes needs to get into this building and keep delaying the inevitable at this point, because for every second that they own the building, they gain more points. At this stage, fighting the open field might not be the best idea, as holding onto the building is the most important thing rather than fighting on the open field. I feel like this is a slight mistake by Totes, but it's okay. They're holding onto the building for a little while still, and they have plenty of points worth of a lead. Almost, what is this? 380 point lead right now. Totes needs to get into this building. Instead, she gets out and destroys her march real quick. If she had that one march coming in, Pork Me might have been able to come in here and reinforce. It is what it is. With all that being said, K9T are going to hold on to the arc and put it to the side. They are going to bank their points because they know that they have enough time to hold on to this arc, delay it enough so that it is going to be impossible for LFaM to get another match, another arc. There's still plenty of time, 20 minutes to win in the points per minute game. That is for sure. LFaM maintaining at least a 230 point lead will eventually lead to the fact that they'll make over 4,000 points, which the 3,500 points that arc gives will not be enough. There are two very important things for LFaM right now. Since the arcs are working against them, for blue team to hold on to the arc is actually bad. They have been showing that they're able to take this arc again and again. With all that being said, for them to hold on to the arc essentially says that we are not going to try to get it again. When you do that, LFaM are now going to focus on the buildings game, which they have been doing and very successfully. It is going to be very, very hard to win the match if you allow the folks in red to keep the point per minute lead. Thankfully for the folks in blue, in about 1 minute and 40 seconds, the point per minute game evens back out. However, LFaM still owning quite heavily the points per minute game in the overall grand scheme of things, which means they still have plenty of time to try to mount a good comeback in the points per minute game, and with some juicy provisions, win this match. K9T are by far not out of this. They're not out of this by anything. They're actually not necessarily in the driver's seat, but both teams seem to be in a fairly good shape. Neither of them are dominating and holding onto the driver's seat for too long. LFaM, though, showing up to the Sky Altar with some open field presence by Hatchman and Animal and a rally, which is taking a pretty big beating right now. This rally might not be too successful. It looks like this rally is really getting chunked down, and that Zetian will be able to hold strong. But we've seen LFaM again and again picking up buildings away from K9T, and trouble can still ensue as the arc is still standing still. If you ask me, this is a massive mistake by K9T. They have the better commanders, they have the more power and the more tier 5s. They can definitely hold onto the center better than the folks in red. So by delivering this arc, they can essentially guarantee themselves another arc, which in return, as we've seen, will be more than enough for them not to really have to worry too much with the point per minute game, which they really haven't while the arc was going down. What this is doing is, while it's freeing the middle team for blue, it's also freeing the middle team for red. And tit for tat, the folks in blue did have a stronger middle team. Totes coming into rally once more. A shrine, desert altar that is standing, that is right here, hasn't popped yet. There it is. But so much open field presence by the folks in blue. Totes bailing out on the open field presence, realizing she cannot hold on to this. LFaM again trying to take a Shrine of War and really trying to do everything they can to slow down the folks in blue. And my goodness gracious, that building is taking massive damage. The rally is almost done, but the open field has so many DPS guys, and 3 more marches coming in. Even though the rally might go down, if the folks in red manage to maintain a strong pressure on the open field in this Shrine of War, they might actually be able to take it fairly easily. Sin of Pride kind of keeping his marches out here is not necessarily a good look. He could have been a very key player in here trying to get this back. Buildings blinking everywhere. Red Desert Altar being rallied, and the rally just get out of here. Shrine of Life also get out of here. It doesn't look... I have not seen K9T taking a building away from LFaM yet on their side, but LFaM have once or twice taken a Shrine of War, a Desert Altar, Sins of Pride, now realizing his mistake, trying to come in, but now there is way too much pressure. Boss, thank you for the $5, 129 watching and 18 likes. Come on, y'all. Let's hit the stream goal and help Gekko out. I appreciate you very much, my man. Thank you for the $5 super chat as well. Sins of Pride showing up a bit late, and at this point, the points per minute game evens up, and the Ark of Osiris was delivered. There is time to deliver an Ark. There is time to deliver an Ark, and this is now the all-in either teams need to do. Because for LFaM, this Ark is win or lose. And so it is for K9T. There are provisions still out there coming back in. Remind you, myself alone scored 1,309 points on provisions for JWM2. 3 people like that, and that Ark is gone, insignificant. And so gathering like that is not the toughest thing to do. I, for example, never have marches like this on the open field. What I tend to do is when I need to have something like this, I would put him in here. He should go in here and keep caravanning and caravan in here while there's no need in here. And once something comes up, that's when I can come out of the caravan, fight on the open field, reinforce the building. If I die, I die. Not a big deal because I march back with caravans for free. This is, for example, a wasted march that could be caravanning and gaining points by just standing still. There are a few of those along the map, not only for folks of LFaM, but also K9T. Keep that in mind as you micro-optimize your own game. This is still anyone's game, says Ivy, and it definitely is. There is plenty of time for a quick Ark pickup. Dark Prince starting to move towards the center, and so is all of K9T. Hoka kind of got a little bit ahead of himself, and man, oh well, he came from the back here. As well as these guys are Hoka is trying to sneak out an outpost. Easy the Gray is going to try to hold on to this outpost, and he probably will. He's going to get there fast enough to re-secure this Hoka, kind of wasting his troops at the front. A 30 point per minute building is not necessarily worth it, but Outlaw with a terrible mistake, go hit something and then get wrecked and march back faster. Dark Prince moving from the center towards the outpost. This might be what the folks of LFaM want. They want a little bit of diversion. This is not a bad idea. Red team are now really going to need to go all in for this Ark of Osiris, or else they're in a big problem. They've managed to prove they can hold on to their buildings fairly well, but the center is everything right now. Only Ark matters now to LFaM. They need to go to the middle ASAP. I think that provisions can also play a huge play, especially if they manage to take out the Sky Altar, for example. That's going to be at least 450 points more for them that the blue team will not get. So there is a lot of ways for LFaM to come back into this. There are so many ways for LFaM to come back into this. What they need to do is they need to distract their opposition. They cannot allow the Ark of Osiris to go in favor of blue. And from there, they have to figure out how they either get their Ark or by some miracle bring in enough provisions to get things done. The swarm by LFaM on this Sky Altar. Oh my goodness, I can't watch this. This is going to be a very, very big turning point. 450 points less for K9T if this happens. And potentially more points for LFaM if they hold on for long enough. Smoky Smog is on his way here. Open field presence. Madness by K9T. My goodness. They're coming, but can they get here fast enough? LFaM are swarming. There is a reinforcement. That's what K9T needed. They needed to slow down, and another one coming in, allowing more people to come in and help secure the building, but these marches are fairly weak. Big trouble for the folks of K9T. Legend doing everything he can, and this is the time when the swarms are coming in. The Sky Altar is falling down. Will it fall down? We're going to keep an eye on this and go straight towards the Desert Altar that's getting hit in return. And there is another march coming in, again delaying this and holding on to so many marches in here. This open field swarm is still doing great, but it's slowly losing power. It is slowly losing power. There might not be enough left in the tank to get rid of whatever's left in here. Is there enough DPS? It doesn't look like there is. Did K9T just pull out a miracle? It looks like they did. As the swarm is losing gas, the troops are dying off. More and more reinforcements are coming into the Sky Altar. And boy, oh boy, LFaM dropped the ball on this one. Not necessarily their fault. Fantastic play by K9T, holding strong. 3 minutes for the Ark of Osiris to come, and the madness in the center has begun. LFaM doing a great job right now. They're putting in the pressure first. They're targeting the first marches. They're cleaning up house first. They're ensuring that they attack first. They hit the right march early. In that way, now blue team has to counteract to this. If they manage to take away some DPS early out of K9T, this is going to be great news. Ollie on the side. Keep an eye on Ollie. Ollie is trying to come from around. Easy the Great trying to maintain his marches alive. Boy, oh boy, this is the match right here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the match, and I am seeing a lot of frowny faces by blue. Red team coming in from behind. Dancing Devil has... well, Demon has one good march and one bad march. Oh boy, the blue guys are coming in strong. This is when red team has to get some early advantage, and I'm only seeing blue frowny so far. One red frowny against the 4 or 5 blue ones. The swarm has begun. This is it. This is the final push. Now, this is a problem for the folks of K9T because one building is not in their favor. They're still losing the points per minute game by a little bit while all this is going down. They are hitting the Sky Altar. Sky Altar doesn't seem to be as secured as it was before, but Reaper has a couple of marches in here, and he's going to do everything he can to hold on to the Sky Altar. But boy, oh boy, what's the life on this rally? It is not looking good. Reinforcements coming into the Sky Altar. Good news for the folks of LFaM, but this is what we're going to keep our eyes on, as in 1 minute and 30 seconds, LFaM trying to get a little bit of a hold in here, but this is where the strength of K9T is starting to show up. We're starting to see a lot of red marches going home, frowny up, and man, oh man, K9T, are they going to pull this win? They've been on the lead for 52, well, technically speaking, right? They weren't in the lead all 52 minutes, but you get my point. They've been in the lead all match long. They've been, with I guess the exception of the first maybe minute or two where LFaM were in the lead by like 100 points. K9T came back strong. They've been holding on to the lead ever since. And right now, LFaM coming in with a backstab, not bad at all, but these solo marches are susceptible to a swarm by these guys. And if one person goes against 6 of these, this guy is gonna get wrecked. My goodness, LFaM, what are you gonna do? 40 seconds until the Ark of Osiris. Oh no, LFaM losing their Sky Altar. Very bad news for them at the very end of the match. The water did penetrate, but let me tell you this, rocks can do some damage to K9T. Are pulling off everything they need. They're grabbing some freaking provisions. Keep an eye on the provision points starting to come up. K9T have been in the lead, and not necessarily always in the driver's seat, but in the lead and in a very good shape from the beginning of this. And now the real question is how this arc is going to go as the Ark of Osiris spawns. Who is going to be the first one to drop it? Remind you very quickly, when you drop the arc, if you drop it on the opposite side, it's a 15-second march around to get to your side. So the person who drops the arc on their side will gain a 15-second lead on this arc. Right now, nobody's picking it up yet. I haven't seen. There it is. There's a blue circle coming up. The blue circle is going in favor of the blue side. Oh my goodness. Shh, don't you dare crash on me right now. I'm in it. Don't you crash. The arc was dropped on the red side, and they are marching. They are starting to walk away with this, but where are they going? What is going on? Red team, hello, LFaM? That way, not... well, that way, not that way. For you guys, it's backwards. Go, 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 go. Well, LFaM losing the arc for now. K9T, all they need is to not let LFaM pick up the arc. A question being asked, I don't get how provisions work. Provisions are fairly simple. You gather these points. When your march makes it home, the points go up right there. That's it. Fairly simple. And so the only thing you should know is that if you are killed on a provisions tile, you do not get the points. But if you die on the open field, when your march gets home, you still get the provision points. This is how I scored 1,300 points in our match. I always had my marches in provisions if they are waiting for an attack. And when they frownied back home, they brought some provisions home with them. And so provisions are all about like gathering. You take the points and you bring them home. You have to bring them home though. That's the only trick. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Timeout. LFaM have the open field right now. From what I'm seeing, LFaM do have the open field right now, and they're marching backwards. The arc is marching its way. The problem is 5 minutes is not a lot of time. They're really going to have to step it up. They're going to start having to move this arc by any means necessary, and the arc is moving. It's making its way. Provisions can still close this. Remind you, this arc is worth 4,000 points, which means there's still 1,700 points worth of a gap to close. But provisions can do the trick at the very end. This is when LFaM have to start marching. They have to get rid of every single one of these guys from Easy to Gray and Silent Flow. The arc was dropped. This gives a little bit of a breather to the folks in blue. Red needs to pick up this arc and start marching. And they have to start marching now. Silent Flow picking up the arc. This makes him a target, and a very easy squishable target, as picking up the arc hurts. It hurts, ladies and gentlemen. Picking up the arc, if I could click on it, hello, gives you minus 50%. Will it let me? No. Minus 50% march speed and 200% damage taken. So Silent Flow got rid of it like that. Now LFaM have to keep marching. Sin of Pride, 4 minutes remaining. They've lost a big part of the map. They don't even care at this point. They just want to get this arc in and get their provisions in. The problem is the points per minute game is in the favor of blue, and they are provisioning as well. I think I'm seeing their numbers going up a lot faster than they should, which means I'm assuming provisioning, but it's not necessarily a thing. The problem for LFaM is that K9T has more marches, more tier 5s, and more commanders. The longer they take to keep moving this forward, the more of these marches manage to come back and slow down the inevitable. And so right now they pick up the arc just to keep delaying things. But man, oh man, LFaM, you guys have 3 minutes and 35 seconds. This might not be enough to get to any building. We're about to see how this works out, as 6,000 points divided between these two teams. That means 2,000 points are going to be needed in provisions for the folks in red to clutch this if they manage to pick up the arc, which as of right now, they haven't been able to. It is the end of the rope. 3 minutes until K9T move on to the top 32 and LFaM say goodbye to Osiris League Season 2. It is not over just yet. The match is still going, and there is plenty of, well, I don't know if plenty of time. Truthfully, I don't know. This could be close. This could be close AF. This is when the provisioners are going to start popping up. A small advice, friendly advice for all of you. You really want to start marching your way back when you have about 8-9 minutes remaining in the match. What I did is I looked for provision tiles that were near the gates. I got in them, and then I got out of them to see what my march time was, and then came back in and ensured that I always had enough time to get it to the end until the very, very end. My last provisioning match came home in the last like 10 seconds. So keep that in mind. With all this being said, it looks like the arc is marching very quickly towards the side of red, but 2 minutes remaining. My goodness, red team taking back some buildings in their favor, at least slowing down the growth by the folks in blue. They're still 6,000 points in the lead. I'm not calling this. Oh, hell no, I'm not calling this. My boy, oh boy, has grown up to be a man, oh man. They have. It has evolved, but the arc. I'm not calling this. I'm not calling this. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. If this arc makes it home, which it looks like it could, maybe not. I'm not entirely sure what the march time is at this point. And LFaM somehow miraculously bringing another 1,000 points. All of a sudden, it's like, whoops, what just happened? So I'm waiting till the very end. It looks like the folks of K9T will win this, but it could still, by some way, end up a red fight. I don't know. I really don't. I think if you ask me, K9T have won this. There's only a minute remaining. What's the march time on this arc? Someone. Blue marches going all over it. If this arc carrier falls, which he did, it is going to be very, very bad news. Oh boy, LFaM losing, taking as many buildings as they can, slowing down the points per minute of blue team, but it's too late right now. At this point, it's all about carrying that arc, and it doesn't look like they will have enough time. Joker Pika is still doing everything he can to try to get there, but he has to get all the way to here. And I'm not entirely sure 30 seconds is enough. The folks of K9T pulling in a fantastic victory. Watching this match was super exciting. Let's get some GGs in the chat for both teams. But with 23-ish seconds remaining, I believe we can call it in the favor of K9T and Kingdom 59. Congratulations. Kingdom 59. Wow, 93. My bad. I'm looking at Box who said hi and I said Kingdom 59. Kingdom 93. Massive shout out to Toiro and company. Fantastic play by them. And LFaM, massive GGs to Totes & Co. for a fantastic match. But this is the end of the road for LFaM and a fantastic top 32 placement for K9T. The animal pulling a clutch with 111 individual honor points. And let's go to individual honor points. Wow. Neither big problem right here came as the provisions were more in favor of K9T than they were of LFaM. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like provisioning has become a thing still. We've proven again and again how important it is, but you can see the difference in kills, the difference in units healed. Massive, massive congrats to K9T. GG's to LFaM. They managed to play the occupation game, but when it came to the arcs, they just didn't have enough firepower to take out the Tigers. A kingdom of Tigers in La Familia is going to go back to fight in Lost Kingdom 135, 37? I don't remember what, Kingdom 37, I believe. We're going to be covering them and Kingdom 279. But today, 279 lose both LFaM and Titans out of the top 32. Massive GG's to K9T. What a fantastic match. I think that we casted probably one of the coolest matches we could have asked for. So take a peek and see how all the rest of the matches went on. JWM had a pretty significant win. T79 had a great victory against GOT. And where were OV? Someone asked me to show OV. Unlucky, yep, it happens. It is what it is. You just got to learn out of it and improve and see where you can make things a bit better. But this was a fantastic match. I think that both sides did a really good job. Before you, ladies and gentlemen, leave us be, because I know you guys have other things to do today, we'll be casting the next time slot right there. So make sure you come back for that. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you drop a subscription and turn on the bell so you know when that happens. And before you leave, drop a like on the stream. Trust me when I tell you this is a VOD worth rewatching. There's a lot of things both teams did that you can learn out of. I'm not going to call out neither strategies, which were fairly interesting, but keep an eye on the types of commanders that were used and the types of swarms, and take a look at how LFaM managed to take buildings. And it doesn't matter what anyone says, swarming on the open field, both buildings and rallies, is the thing to do nowadays. And LFaM proved it the best. That was a great match. Congratulations. Take a look as LFaM sending GGs to K9T in the chat. That's the kind of spirit we're looking for, and that's the kind of community we have. Stream the Smash Squad. I don't stream other content creators' matches, my man. I won't be streaming this because it's Chisco's thing. And so with that being said, I'm gonna get out of here, leave you guys be, enjoy the VOD. Don't forget to drop a like on the stream before you leave. I'd appreciate that. Ice, what's up, dude? Everybody is pouring in here. I'm assuming Chisco finished streaming after he streamed for about, what, 3 hours now? I'm assuming he just closed his stream. Looks like it. Guys, we had a fantastic match. That we watched. I urge you guys to, if you're new, if you haven't gotten in here yet, or like Ice, you were in Chisco stream and now managed to make your way here. Trust me when I tell you, you want to rewatch this VOD because the match was awesome. Oh, you never got the notification. Ice, my apologies, my man. I'm not in charge of all that. I do need to figure out how to get notifications out for Discord, which, by the way, in the description down below, go join our Discord. I'll pop some notifications in there when I go live. I'll do it manually if I have to ensure all of you get the notifications when we go live. 100% going live at 7 p.m. UTC for that match. We're going to find ourselves a great match to cast, and trust me, just like we watched a fantastic match, and I believe the best one of this slot we casted, we'll try to do the same in the next match. That Portuguese dude subscribed. Thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. If you haven't yet, make sure you drop that sub. Hit the like button. I'm going to get the heck out of here. Thank you all for your continued support. Ice, I'll see you at 7 p.m. UTC. Yep. Next match. Oh, we definitely will cast the next match. Yeah, at 7 p.m. At 7 p.m. UTC. I won't tell you which one it is yet because I'm on the fence between two. I'm on the fence between two. Maybe I'll tell the members in the members chat, Enver, cough, cough. Maybe I'll tell the members. Notifications though, I agree, Ice. We need to figure out something better for... Have you hit the bell? You should hit the bell. You should hit the bell. That way you'll get your notifications 100%. But anyway, I'll make sure to do something about that, Ice. Get into whatchamacallit? Get into the Discord. I'll do my best to do it in there. I'm a member. Where's your GG? I don't see your GG. Maybe you are. I don't know. Maybe the chat is all bugged up. Anyway, Doglio, Boz, Enver, Ice. Sorry, man. XPP Killer. I think Lil sended something. Ooh. What did they send? Careless Whisper. 8 Orchid. Alexander. Sammy. Misty. Doglio again. Ivy. Box, the other box, the mood, GG's, Baz, thank you again for the $5 super chat. That's super kind of you. You really didn't have to do that. I appreciate you very much in the message in it as well. Veni, Sai, that Portuguese dude, thank you for subscribing. Some Russian name. Hey, Gekko, did you watch the match? Did you watch the Titans match? I did watch it on the computer while I was playing. I watched it like halfway. Mohammed, thank you for being in the chat today. Jedi as well, Metacog, and so many more names in here. I appreciate every single one of you who dropped by, chilled with us. Another cast coming very soon. I'll see you sooner rather than later, and take care. Click on end. Have to click on OK before that. Well, now. Peace.